Hey everybody, this is TotalGamerJunkie. I want to welcome you all back to my channel. So I want to apologize for not uploading a video in almost a week. I've just been busy with my courses and work, and I've been working on my own novel just about pirates and that, like, just mainly and just writing out the characters before I start the story and that. And I'm a bad writer, so it probably won't be any good, but, you know, like, it's like, how will I know if I don't try? So if you've read the title, then you already know what this video is going to be about, and to be honest, I haven't seen many YouTubers do this type of video, like try to see whether or not this is true, but I think I should delve into it, like, because he does seem like the type of guy that would do it, but, you know, it's never acknowledged, like, it's never stated, but just from the way Jefferson acts around Max, I feel like this is something that we should talk about. Now, when we first meet Mark Jefferson, he just appears to be, you know, a casual, normal guy. He can be charismatic, and some of the students find him charming, especially Victoria Chase. And he's also a famous photographer who becomes a teacher. So, like, when I first was playing the game, I was like, alright, this guy's alright, he seems cool. But then when you get to the end of episode 4 and start of episode 5, you realize he's just a cold, sadistic bastard who's very, very criminally intelligent. What I mean by that is, you know, with the Criminal Mind, where he planned out everything, basically like a jigsaw type of villain, you know what I mean? How he plans everything out, manipulates others into getting what he wants, and basically he's obsessed with what he calls capturing the moment of innocence that evolves into corruption. And what I mean by that is, when he drugs his victims, he does it to a point where they're not knocked out, but they're conscious in a way. So they're not so conscious as they can try to escape, but they're dosed enough so that their consciousness, it'd be like, imagine trying to remember a dream. That's like the type of state you'd be in, I guess. Like, you can remember bits but not at all, as was the case with Kate. You remember she was saying that she remembered bits of the Darkroom, but she couldn't fully remember it. Now, one of the things that interests me is, I was actually replaying this game a few days ago, and something caught my eye, and I don't know if any of you noticed this, but as we all know, Jefferson wanted Max to enter a photo so she could be a participant in the Everyday Heroes contest, and possibly win a chance to travel with him to San Francisco to an art gallery and get her work shown around, and so this could jumpstart a career in photography. Now, I believe Jefferson was going to rig this contest so Max could win, but that's not the part that I noticed, because I'm pretty sure everyone noticed it. What I noticed is the fact that what he says at the end of, it's when Max goes back in time in episode 5, and she hands Jefferson the photo, the one that she was going to use to enter the Everyday Heroes contest. And he mentions to Max, like, it means a lot to him, and he's like, and Blackwell, and he goes on about how the first steps of an artist is to put themselves out in the world and to not be afraid of rejection. And then he goes, to be innocent, and he does that pause. Now the thing here is, if Jefferson was, I assume that Max was going to be one of his subjects. It's just the way he says it. So, because Max is basically, we know she's like a shy, timid girl in the beginning, and then by the end of episode 5, she's a confident woman. Like, it's meant to be because, you know, the blue butterfly in episode 1 is Chrysalis, I believe, or was that episode 5? But basically, this game's meant to represent her coming out of a cocoon, just evolving as a person. Anyways, if Jefferson wanted to drug Max, why couldn't he have just done it any time she was there, you know what I mean? Like, he chose to go after Kate, but if he's so obsessed with Max, why did he go after Kate first and not Max? I guess, like, Kate is in a way more innocent than Max because of her religious beliefs, and I always like Kate. Kate's my favorite one in Life is Strange. Anyway, back on topic. So, I have no proof, this is just speculation, maybe Jefferson had a dark room in San Francisco. Okay, now, like I said, I got no proof, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, because as you all know, when Max enters her photo in episode 5, we can see that she's won the Everyday Hero contest. And since she would have been traveling to San Francisco with Jefferson if he hadn't gotten arrested, the two of them would have spent a lot of time together. If you remember in episode 3, Victoria was flirting with Jefferson at the beginning, and she was going on about how if Jefferson picked her photo, then the two of them could spend a lot of time together. Well, they would be spending a lot of time together because Jefferson would have been her guardian, right? Because basically, like, think of it like a field trip. You know, when students go on a field trip, you have that teacher to supervise them. So it'd be basically this. Okay, and I assume that if Max and Jefferson went to San Francisco, they'd have to share some type of hotel room or something. Like, they'd be separate rooms, but, you know, it'd be like a singular room. And it would be possible for Jefferson to drug Max that way without her knowing. And he could take her to a supposed dark room in San Francisco and begin taking pictures of her. But I don't know, it's just the way he looks at Max. I don't know, because I've said this before, like, he kind of lets off a rapey vibe, you know what I mean? And it's never been denied by Dotnoid. I've looked this up, okay? Like, if you remember in episode 2, when Jefferson's talking to Kate and then he talks to Max and he gets that phone call, Dotnoid has never confirmed this. I'm not kidding, you can look this up. They have never confirmed who was on the phone call to Jefferson. I mean, maybe they have now, but back when I looked it up after finishing episode 5 and that, they never confirmed it. They never said who was on the phone. Okay, which I always thought that was weird. And they've never, it's like, I'm not saying that it did happen, but I'm not saying like Jefferson raped Max, but what I'm saying is Dotnoid hasn't said that he didn't, which leads me to believe that it could have happened. It's a possibility. So it's up for interpretation, but I do believe that Jefferson, in that moment in the darkroom, I do believe that given the chance, he might have done it. Like, he might have even done it before he started taking photographs of Max. He might have forced himself on her in that unconscious state, because Max found out about the darkroom and Jefferson was planning to kill her anyway. So if he's so obsessed with Max, he was going to kill her anyway. He'd probably want to rape her first before taking photos and disposing of her body, because, as I said before, he's a very sadistic person. And I just want to, like, if you're uncomfortable with these themes, I just want to apologize, but I make these videos. I try and make videos, so, like, I look on YouTube, I try to make videos on Life is Strange that haven't been done by other YouTubers, and because, like, this channel, it's basically Life is Strange. That's what it is now. And rather than the comics, like, I try to give as much Life is Strange content as I can. I do play the games, I do upload. I'm the only YouTuber uploading the comics. Like, I've seen Comic Story and do, what's it called? He just does a summary of the issues. Like, well, he goes into the volumes about what happens in the issues with good detail. I'd recommend checking him out. Like, he does all these videos for comics, which are pretty good. But anyways, that's really all I wanted to talk about. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Do you think Jefferson forced himself on Max when she was in the darkroom? Or do you think that didn't happen and he just wanted to take photos of her? Like, he wasn't going to force himself onto Max because he wanted her to maintain her innocence? Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is TotalGamerJunkie, signing off.